Good evening, everyone. Tonight for dinner we are going to make homemade chimichangas with a cheese sauce. So we're going to cut up an onion. What I did was I got some new knives and I kept cutting myself. So Tom got me a safety knife, so I'm going to use that. So that's what this is all about because I'm tired of hurting myself. So what we need is some canola oil. I'm going to use 2 jalapenos. You can use more or less or none at all. And then I'm only going to use half a yellow onion. It says to use 1, but and then we're going to dice it up. And then 2 pounds of ground beef, but since it's just Tom and I'm just going to use 1 pound. Then we're going to use chili powder, kosher salt, paprika, black pepper. So if you remember in my other video, I make my own sauce and I keep the ingredients on here so that I know what's in here and what I need. So this doesn't have kosher salt in it. It doesn't have black pepper in it. So I'm just going to use 3 tablespoons of this and then add my kosher salt and my pepper. And then we're going to need juice of half a lime. So I don't have limes and I don't have lime juice, so I'm going to use this. And I'm going to use probably a couple tablespoons. And then we're going to add cheese. I'm going to use a white Italian style cheese so that it's more, I don't know, stringy. And then we're going to use the yellow cheese for the queso sauce that we're going to make. And then we're going to use just regular store-bought tortillas, and we're going to heat those up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and chop up the onion. Now what I do is I cut the half into fourths, okay? And then I take my Pampered food chopper. So I love this product because it, when you use it, it chops and turns. So you don't have to worry about dicing it several thousand times. You can just do it in minimal amounts of time with this, the food chopper. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's kind of noisy. I like to use it when, I like to use it to chop my food, but sometimes I use it whenever I'm frustrated, and I'll show you on a couple of them. So it's just going to be loud, so just letting you know. So you just hold it, and it even has finger grips, and it has a cushioned top so that you don't hurt your hand. And you just, however dicey, however small you want it, or large. Alright, so if you can see that, that's pretty fine. Sometimes I do it smaller because a lot of people don't like big chunks of onions in their food. So anyway, so this is a lot faster than dicing it by hand. So I'm going to finish these up, and then I'll show you how we are going to compile everything. Alright, so those are all diced, so it's pretty easy cleanup. You just twist this part off and just scrape whatever you want off the bottom. And then this part comes off and it's dishwasher safe, and this part opens so that you get all the inside and your cup, everything's dishwasher safe. So I just throw it in the dishwasher and we're good to go. So on the jalapenos, I know you may have seen my candied jalapeno video. So whenever I have extra jalapenos, I take them and I go ahead and slice them up in my food processor so they're all the same size. And then always with jalapenos, please use gloves. I didn't do that, so we're going to need this in a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and wash my hand because I don't want to rub my eye with jalapeno juice, right? So anyway, so I like this Pampered Chef bar board because it's small for little items, even though these were already sliced up, but I just wanted to show that they have measurements on them, and they're very sturdy, and then the grip, this helps it from sliding around. So like this board, it slides a lot, So I like it because the grip keeps it from sliding. So, all right. Well, I've added the onions to the oil, and now I'm going to add the jalapenos. And after we get those sauteed a little bit, 6 to 8 minutes, then we're going to put the ground beef in there and cook it all together. All right. So while that's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and measure out the seasoning. So this is a prepping bowl, and it goes up to 1 cup, and then there's little measurements on the side, and then it has a lid, so it's great. Like if you want to prep stuff, and then later on you need it, so you can just set this aside and then use it later. So like I said, so I like these measuring spoons too because they nest inside each other, and they got a little hook where you can put a hook hanging on the door. So, but these go from 1/8 teaspoon all the way up to 1 tablespoon. So, alright, so I was going to add 3 tablespoons of this seasoning. And then 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. Let's take the lid off. So, so these teaspoons, they've redone them. These are quite old. I've had a lot of my Pampered Chef forever. So anyway, so these slide, and they're adjustable. And so they go from 1/8 teaspoon up to 1 teaspoon, and then they also have the tablespoon where it goes from 1 teaspoon up to tablespoon. But anyway, so we need, I'm not going to put that much salt in here, so I'm just going to put 1 in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a teaspoon of black pepper. So this is my new little pepper seller. So he's cute. My granddaughter picked him out for me. So it's 1 teaspoon of black pepper. So I'm just putting them all in so that I just have to clean it out once. And then, or dump it in once. So after these get done, after the onions and peppers get done, and we cook the ground beef, then we'll add the seasonings. Blooper alert, I can't find the pause. Alright, so the ground beef is the ones that I put in the vacuum sealer. I did a video on that. So this meat, if it's meat, it could last up to 2 years in the freezer if you put it in vacuum seal bags, and only like 6 months if you don't, because they get freezer burned. So anyway, I just wanted to show you what it looked like out of the freezer. So, alright. So we're going to cook it up and drain it, and then I'll show you the next steps. So now that the meat mixture is ready, I am going to heat up the tortillas in the Pampered Chef tortilla warmer. It's microwave safe. You just slide your tortillas in, and then you cook them for about a minute, and then they're all nice and steamy and fresh. I also use this for potatoes. I just put baking potatoes in here after I've washed them and scrubbed them, and then I put them in the microwave on the potato setting or 8 minutes. And you're going to want to poke them with a fork, and then you're going to want to just set them in here and put them in for 8 minutes, or in here on the potato setting. So, but they turn out wonderful every time. So when you take these out, be very careful because they're hot and steamy. And so what I did was I had the really large ones, so I had to fold them over a couple times. And then you're going to want to, let me get some tongs, because they are really warm. So I'm just going to set them on my Pampered Chef cookie sheet that I love as well. It's very heavy duty and it works great. So, alright, so those are all separated. Now you're going to want to do these a couple times. I mean, like, you're going to have to do a couple batches of these because, so I'm going to put these on a plate so that I can work to make it put the mixture in. So just going to set it there. Then you're going to take some of the mixture and put it in here. So these are both Pampered Chef. They come in a set. And I just love the colors and they're fun to work with. So I use the spatula to cook the meat with, and then I'm going to use the spoon to do the filling. And you don't want to fill it too much, but you want it, since these are bigger, I'm going to add more. And then I'm going to put them on the cookie sheet and we're going to fry them just to get them brown on the sides. Alright, so you want to pull the sides in and then pull up the bottom part and then roll it like a burrito. And so I'm just going to set it there. You're going to do it seam side down, and then whenever you put them in the skillet to fry, then you're going to put it seam side down so when you flip it, it's seared shut. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and finish doing this, and then I will show you the fryer method. So if you're on keto, you could do this same recipe and still make it keto by using lettuce wraps instead of flour tortillas. So if you want to try it, and so what I would do is just take some Bib lettuce or some romaine and wash it, and then just dip it in your lettuce wraps and have it that way. That's good too. We've tried it that way as well when we didn't have tortillas and we didn't want to go to the store, so we used lettuce. So we always have that on hand, and so I'm going to start frying these. I got the oil heating, and as you can see, you can make these any different size. Like this is my size because it's smaller. And this one's probably going to be a good size because I just wanted to use the rest of the filling. So anyway, I'm going to fry these up. So we're going to do a minute on each side. And then we're going to make a cheese sauce as soon as this is done. And then we'll pour the cheese sauce over, and then we will enjoy dinner. One of the key things with heating your oil is to make sure it's hot enough so that when you put your tortilla, your chimichanga down in the oil, it's not setting in cold oil and absorbing it. So you want it to be pretty warm. You can test it by a thermometer, or sometimes I just like this little piece of meat, I'll take it and throw it on to see how it sizzles, and if it sizzles really well, then it'll be ready. So a couple of tips: if you burn them, the good thing about tortillas is they bubble up, and then you can just like scrape that part off. The other issue was this end I didn't let seal enough, and it broke open whenever I tried to flip it over. So now we're going to work on the cheese sauce, and then we'll have yummy din din. So I have my setup a little bit different, so that's why I'm not able to show you the stove cooking. So what I'm going to do now is add 3 tablespoons of canola oil, and then 3 tablespoons of flour, and we're going to mix it up and make a roux. And then we're adding 1.5 cups of beef broth, 1 cup of grated cheddar cheese. I'm going to add just 1 tablespoon of the taco seasoning. And I'm not going to add salt because I think I put enough salt in the chimichanga meat. And then we're going to, after we get all that mixed together, we're going to add 1.5 cups of heavy cream. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I will come back and show you the cheese sauce. So if you don't know what a roux looks like, it's just a, get this right, it's just oil and flour kind of making a paste, and then you add the other liquids to it, because if you don't get the flour down and mixed in with a liquid, then it's just going to clump up. So you always want, if you have flour involved, you always want to mix it with something else first so that you don't get the clumpiness and have to pull out your immersion blenders. And for the broth, it says beef broth, but I'm going to use my veggie broth. It's the stuff that I canned, and so I had it open and I wanted to use it before opening something else. So I had the veggie broth that I had made previously. So if you remember the other day whenever I was talking about making your taco blend, and you don't want to buy the store-bought because it has silica in it. So this is the silica I was talking about. It says silica gel, do not eat. Do not eat. But they put it in your food. So do you eat it or do you not eat it? So what I do when I make it homemade is I just keep this gel packet. This came in medicine, vitamins that I got. So, so I used those all up. So now I'm going to use it. I just drop it in on top. I wipe it down with paper towel. I already did that. And then I drop it in on top, and then I just put the lid on. So that's what I was talking about the other day about the gel silica. So we have finished our sauce. Some people might like it a little thicker. You can add more cheese. What I did is I added some nutritional yeast. I use it as a thickener sometimes. And then I think the longer it's going to set and cool, it'll thicken up because the cheese will start to get cold again. So, so you just put your chimichanga on the plate. And you just put a little bit of the cheese sauce. And then I'm going to garnish with a few tomatoes. And you can add whatever you want, lettuce, tomato, sour cream. If you want to make it full on Tex-Mex, that's great. It's whatever you want to do. But let me go ahead and cut it open so you can see what it looks on the inside. Doesn't that look delicious? And if you just want to use your hands and not put cheese sauce on it, that's fine too. The cheese sauce is just an added bonus. I think it tastes great. Like I said, I could have used more cheese probably, but anyway, I hope you enjoy the video and like and subscribe to the channel, and I will be back with you as soon as I can. Thank you, and I will chat with y'all later.